Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we are talking about something most expat channels don't touch. We all love the fantasy, right? Escape the matrix, drop the 40-year mortgage, the corporate grind, the political chaos, slip away into a tropical beach and live happily ever after. But here's what nobody tells you. Freedom is a double-edged sword. Today, we're digging into why true freedom triggers an existential dread, why our old coping mechanisms were just adaptations to a cage, and why walking away from a toxic environment isn't running away, it's survival. There's a line from author Johann Hari that hits the nail on the head. Addiction is an adaptation. It's not you, it's the cage you were put in. And when I say addiction, I don't just mean substances. I mean a repeated pattern of behavior that no longer produces healthy results. Numbing out, doom scrolling, working ourselves to death. As Gen Xers, we spent decades adapting to what we call respectable adulthood, the career, the debt, the suffocating weight of everyone else's expectations. We told ourselves we chose it, but most of those choices weren't freedom. They were compromises, soft confinement. For me, the latest tipping point came around the 2024 election. I found myself stuck in a toxic loop of rage and fear, watching the values that I hold dear, peace, justice, diversity, cooperation, they get dismantled by a polarized, hyper-partisan circus. I realized my core values had just been suffocating for the previous decade, and I was just done. And when you're finally done, you have two choices. Keep adapting to the cage or change the scenery. If you're new here, I'm Island Punk. I did something drastic. I sold my condo and my truck. I turned it in my Alaska life for a beach apartment and a Suzuki 125 in the Southern Hemisphere. I live on the cheap. I write about emotional well-being and I map out this weird Gen X Xpat journey. If that's your vibe, hit the subscribe and join the rebellion. Because leaving the US was messy and, well, it felt like a divorce. Expensive, emotionally draining, and terrifying. I have never traveled overseas. I had no safety net. I just had this gut-level wisdom of my years telling me that there are places left in the world where peace and community are actual cultural values. When you finally open the cage door that you have been in, you don't instantly soar. You actually just freeze. Why? Because true freedom means you have absolutely no excuses left. If you're stuck, it's on you. If you're lonely, you chose the geography. If you're unhappy, look in the mirror. You've backed yourself into this corner. That is the dizzying, beautiful anxiety of the expat life. Constraint is cozy because it gives you something to blame. It's easy to complain about the system when you're locked inside it. But true freedom hands you the paintbrush and forces you to stare at a completely blank canvas. Think back to when we were in our late teens and 20s. All of life felt like a runway. It was wonderful. You believed the promises. Then you slowly built up the life, the family, the routines, the walls began to form around us. Oh my God. I didn't even notice the chains anchoring me to this one spot until I had hit my mid-50s. Living in that high stress, high constraint life required coping mechanisms just to survive the boredom and the background noise. But out here, those old armor plates don't fit anymore. Freedom requires a new whole set of coping mechanisms. And they have to be active. I have to force myself to sit with radical uncertainty. I have to draw hard boundaries. I have to protect my peace on purpose. And yes, part of self-preservation meant cutting ties with toxic ideologies and noisy arguments. That's not bitterness that you hear. That's just deciding who gets access to my inner world. In 2 weeks, I hit my 1-year anniversary in my new country. And when I look at the stillness, the quiet joy of my life now, I know the gamble paid off. The bars of the cage were never a part of us. The tactics that kept you safe in your past don't get to dictate your future. Freedom strips away your certainty, but it hands you back your agency. Yeah, we're all pushing a rock up a mountain. But for the first time, we can choose the mountain. We can always choose again. If you want to go deeper into this kind of radical self-awareness, check out my book, Mental Wealth Journey, on Amazon. It's a no BS companion for journaling your way to clarity and resilience. If you want to read my daily reflections, the Substack link is right below. To my current subscribers, thank you. Seriously, you keep this ship sailing. And to everyone else, the algorithm wants you passive, numb, and predictable. But the door to the cage isn't locked. Drop a comment about the cage that you're trying to break out of. Until next time, lead, follow, or get out of the way.